Hello, my great subscribers. This is Fabio coming back with another video, guys. This video will be pretty informative. Actually, what happened today was I stumbled across my my old, I guess, notebook where I was kind of planning my commercial cleaning business back in the day, and I want to kind of go over some things. We're going to touch a few different things in this particular video. Obviously, I'm going to allow you guys to ask me some questions. I got some other things to tell you guys. First off bat, I had my people put up a post earlier today, guys. I do have two courses that I started with early on in the day, back in the day. I do have two. We come across two courses. Okay, so those particular courses are selling at $750 per course. Okay, it's first come, first serve. If you want it, you can get it. But I only have two. I know a lot of people tend to email me and ask me about that from time to time. One second, guys. Let's see here. One second. Let me see here. What we? Okay. Yeah, I know people tend to email me and ask me about that from time to time. You're gonna see me looking down because I did take some notes, guys. I don't know if I'll get a lot of people on this particular live, but I did want to go ahead and get it off kind of early, opposed to later. Okay. So yeah, so let's go ahead and start. What I want to talk about in this video is going from $0 to me generating $10,000 a month in recurring revenue. Okay, now here's the thing. If you guys remember, I did a video about my first $5,000 check. Okay, and as I was kind of going through the notebook, what's going on here? What is going on here? Okay. So I was going through my notebook, guys, and I remembered that I had set a plan for myself on getting to the first $5,000 check, right? So as I flipped through the pages, I did the same thing for, getting to 10 grand per month. Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to simplify this. I'm very simplistic type of guy. Not exaggerated even when it comes down to paperwork and things like that. I don't like to have a bunch of paper. I don't like to have a bunch of paperwork. I don't like to stick a contract in somebody's face that's about this thick, where they got all of these different pages. So here's the thing. My philosophy back in the day, right? And I'm gonna give it to you from the perspective of making $5,000 and showing you where I was mentally in terms of taking it from $5,000 to $10,000 in monthly billing. Now, when I ask a lot of people on the coaching call, when I have coaching, I ask a lot of people, I say, well, about how much money would you want to make reoccurring, every single month? About how much money would you like to make on a reoccurring basis, or like a residual type of basis? Usually people tell me that they will want to make $5,000 a month, or usually people would tell me they want to make at least $10,000 a month. They think $10,000 would be sufficient, for them to start off, make it 10 grand a month. If they can get to 10 grand, that's their goal. They feel like they're okay at 10 grand. Some people I speak to say, hey, Fabio, I want to get incredibly rich off of this janitorial stuff. Some people say, hey, Fabio, I want to get or just become comfortable, right? I just want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, take care of my kids, take care of my family, that type of thing, right? And while both of those things are very, very doable, you want to have some type of plan. See, early on, I knew this, listening to different motivational speakers and reading books and different things like that. Before I even discovered that I wanted to do commercial cleaning, I was already listening to certain audios and buying CDs and buying sales courses and buying books and things like that. Like I say, my library is very, very extensive, you guys, as it relates to this material. You know, I remember I dabbled into eBay. I dabbled into eBay way back when. Um, that's where I knew I could really do business as a whole because, uh, like for an example, my hair, and it's probably gonna seem funny, but my hair in my family means a lot. Like it's very traditional in my family, right? So like all the ladies grow hair like really, really fast in my family. So the idea that I took from one of my sisters was what we would do. We would grow our hair really, really long, and it's been some time since I did this, but we would grow our hair really, really long, right? Wash it, blow dry it. We get one big braid down the back, cut the braid, and then sell that hair on eBay. Now that's a few of my sisters like to do that. That's our like I go to like back in the day. That's what we used to do because our hair grows so fast, right? So once I was able to sell my hair and people actually bought my hair, whether to turn it into wigs or weaves or whatever they wanted to do, way back when that let me know that it was possible for me to do business, especially considering what they bought. Somebody overseas bought it. Most of the time people overseas buy this hair. I don't know what they necessarily do with it, but most of the time. But anyway, that reassured me that okay, you know what, I can do business. Now this, like I say, this was way before my consideration of even starting a cleaning business, guys. But this just to go to show you that I had the aspirations or I aspire to run a business, have a business, be successful in business. That was like my, hey RM, that was like my thing. Like I say, with hair being a very popular thing in my family, my sisters used to do it all the time. Grow their hair long, cut it, sell it on eBay, and they would get a pretty penny. And I tried it, and it worked for me too. But let's get right back on topic here. I would tell you to always have a game plan. To always have a game plan. Okay. And what I mean by that, if you're just in the startup process, I know a lot of the people that watch me now, they're making a considerable amount of money. So they might feel like this information doesn't pertain to them. But there are certain nuggets, certain things you can do. Even if you're already, been doing this for a long time, you're pretty seasoned in it. There is some value in what I'm about to say. If you write down what you would want to make, what you're willing to do, like what niche market you're going to go into, and you stick to that. See, a lot of my people that watch me, they're all over the place, right? So they want to do window washing, they want to do carpet clean, they want to do commercial, they want to do residential. And while you can make a lot of money in all of those sectors of the cleaning business, it's very hard to kind of do that in the very, very beginning. That's why I tell a lot of people, see, I learned this early on. I was really smart in terms of just focusing on one thing, right? Now, I know it sounds terrible when somebody say, well, do you guys offer carpet cleaning? And you don't, and you have to tell them no, right? I know it's like, oh, fuck, I didn't want to tell them no, because you feel like, well, if I tell them no that I don't do carpet cleaning, they may not utilize me for, regular general cleaning, commercial cleaning. And that was a thing that I thought about too. So at first, in the very beginning, Jesus Christ, in the beginning, I was like, well, we don't offer this service, we don't offer, that service. I would just be honest. But then as I kind of assured myself and my capabilities, I'm like, you know what? I don't have a carpet cleaning machine. I don't have this machine. I don't have this floor care machine. I'm like, what if I could find somebody? I didn't want to have a huge company. Like even my vendors today, they're not huge. They're a lot of, maybe mom and pop type of situations. The guys, he's been doing it for 15 years or 10 years. He got the truck mount, he got the equipment. So I like to find individuals that's been doing it for a long time, right? That like that particular business. There's not a huge company or a name brand company, because it's easier to negotiate the 70-30 deal, the 50-50, the 60-40. Is easier to negotiate with an individual rather than a big company. There's a lot of people. I mean, you can look on Indeed, you can look on these different sites, you can look on these different forums, and you can find a lot of subcontractor people that's willing just to work out a deal with you because they know they're able to make money with you, or at least they feel like they'll be able to make money with you, right? So in their mind, it's like, you know what? I have something they need. You know, I can be, hey, how's it going, Keela? I can be a great resource for them. So why not just sign on to an agreement with them and be a subcontractor of them? Okay. Again, this was my thinking. And then, like I say, a lot, if you feel the same way, as long as you feel that you can hire a great subcontractor, guys, I would say go for it. But I know how I feel in the beginning to go in the door with the mindset to do one thing, and they tell you, no, we don't need this, but we do need this. So we don't need general cleaning, but we need floor care service. We don't need general cleaning, but we need a restoration service, right? We don't need a residential cleaner, but we do need a carpet cleaner, right? So I know, like, in your mind, you're like, but I don't do that, right? So, and it's like you don't want to lie because you know you can't complete the service. But once you get in the mind frame, like I said, once you get in the mind frame and once you feel like you have the capabilities to outsource that particular service to a party whom you set up some type of deal with, right? You got them under some type of subcontractor contract, and you set up that deal with them. As long as you pay that man well or that woman well, they will continue to do work for you. This is just facts. It's no different than employment, right? You pay a guy minimum wage, he's going to give you, generally speaking, a minimum wage job. You pay a guy well, he's going to brag on you. He's going to tell his friends how much you pay him, right? He's going to be a little bit more loyal. He's going to be willing to go the extra mile a lot of times. When you think of these big companies, your Googles and your Amazons and different things like that, a lot of times people, because they get paid well, even if the work is treacherous or just hard to do, a lot of times people will be loyal to those brands, right? Be loyal to those companies because of what they're getting paid. A lot of times, sometimes people just do it for the check and they don't like to do it, but they feel like I can't quit this because this is my work. I have to do this right now. If you're just joining me, guys, I want you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. So let's get back to my, because there's a few things I want to talk about. Let's get back to my logic. Like I say, I found my little spiral notebook back in the day when I used to be at the libraries. For you guys that know my story, know I used to go to the libraries faithfully, and I used to craft. So my thing was, I wanted to generate $5,000 a month when I first started off, and I did it rather quickly. Okay, and this was my philosophy. I took some notes, like I said, guys, from my notebook. So I kind of want to give you guys an idea because it had to be doable for me. Now, when I made my first $5,000, where I was getting 5,000, I've been following you for 2 years, and I just started my cleaning business. Tomorrow will be my first day. My first client is excited. I'm nervous but ready to take on the show. Congratulations! I'm so glad. It's better that you kept going. You say you've been watching me for 2 years, and I'm glad that you stayed in the game long enough to get your first deal going. Just keep going, Keela. I swear, once you get in that first deal, just don't make the mistake that I made. When I got in the first deal, I thought I was big shit, right? Like I'm popping my collar. I'm feeling like really, really accomplished. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. I worried myself, Keela, and you're probably going to have this same thing. I worry myself so much with my very, very first account because I felt like I put in a lot of work to get this contract. And every day I went in that contract, I worried myself more about not losing that contract than I worried myself about keeping it, or keeping myself motivated about keeping the contract. Like, you go in and you're like, oh, I hope I don't do any wrong. I hope I don't mess up. I can't afford to get fired because this is my only contract. So you kiss ass, you blow bubbles, you do all of these things that they want you to do in the very, very beginning because you don't want to lose the contract. You don't want to have any mishaps or anything like that. So don't get, definitely stay at it, Keela. I think that's her name. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't give you a nickname. Keela, definitely stay at it, but don't get comfortable. Okay? Go in, do the job, be the excellence of execution, right? Go in there, you excellently execute that building well, right? Try to keep your complaints, because every once and again, you're probably going to get them, but try to keep it to a minimum. You don't want to have a problem every time you go in there complaining about something new, okay? Whatever they trained you to do or they want you to do, formulate yourself some type of checklist, right? And I'm a big advocate of having a checklist, Keela, because at the end of the day, you check off as you go. That way you don't lose sight of what needs to be done or what you should be doing, right? Or you don't miss out on something over here that you were concentrating more over there about, right? So you definitely want to keep your head on the swivel, as we like to say, okay? But just don't worry yourself to death, because like I say, once you get in there and get the cleaning, you're going to think back like, yeah, I was on Fabio Live and he did say, you're going to be so focused, right? Hey, Keela, can you do this? Can you do that? You're going to be doing everything for him, right? Can you do this extra? Can you do that extra? Right? Trust me, I was doing a bunch of stuff that wasn't even written up in the original agreement, right? Because, or the original estimate, I should say. I was doing a bunch of things just because that was like my little baby. That was my first deal. Okay, so we don't want you to lose that, but we don't want you to get comfortable. I want you to stay at it. That way you can continue to pick up new contracts. But anyway, to go back to my point, guys, so this was my philosophy. This was my formula that I used way back in the day, okay? I was thinking like, okay, if I can get one, if I can get, I'm sorry, 100 accounts. I'm sorry, if I could charge $100 times 100 accounts, that would give me 10,000, right? That would give me $10,000 in monthly revenue. Okay, the thing with that, because again, like I say, I wanted to make $10,000 a month before I ever wanted to make like 5,000 a month. But 10,000 seemed, when I wasn't bringing that type of money in, it seemed like so far to reach. It seemed like it wouldn't happen for me, right? It seemed like it wouldn't happen for me. But 100 counts seems so far-fetched when you only got 1, 2, 5, 10 accounts. It seemed like you're just not able to get to that 100 account, right? So I had to simplify it, guys. I simplified it. And as I was working the numbers, this is what I used to sit in the library and do. As I was working the numbers, I'm like, okay, if I can get 20 accounts that I can charge $250 monthly, 20 accounts to charge $250, that will put me at $5,000, right? That would put me at $5,000. So I also thought in my head, like, okay, if I can double that 20, same thing, 250, have them pay me 250, and or at least 250, nothing less than 250, and get 40 accounts, then I can make $10,000. And that was the formula that I went on. That was the formula that I went on. So any account that I went out to, I had to make at least $250, okay? Which back then, considering what I had to do, the type of buildings, the location, all of this play a part. All of this play a part. Like you can get the same type of facility. For an example, guys, you can get a facility that's 3,500 square foot, which really isn't a big space. You can get a 3,500 square foot facility in the city, and you can get a 35 square feet building that's like in the well-to-do suburban area, and the payment that they will shell out is the difference between night and day. I tell people a lot of times metropolitan areas do not like to pay. They don't. They want you to do everything under the sun, but they don't want to pay everything under the sun. Whereas well-to-do areas, more posh areas, more areas that's, well-to-do in your town, the suburban areas, a lot of times you can put in a quote, and this has happened to me, guys, before, where I put in numbers, and in their mind, those numbers were low, and they decided that they wanted to pay more than the bid that I put in. And I'm talking about some of the law firms. Like, for an example, to this day, we have some of the, on your TV, you got the law, if you get crashed by an accident, you fall out of the window, call such and such. So you got those your like local celebrity lawyers that who you're going to call if you was in a car accident. Well, I actually have them as a client, right? I won't say any names, but I actually have them as a client. Okay. And I was going in, and you don't necessarily see that lawyer that you see on TV, but his assistant, his people, right? So I was going in, and I'm, soliciting and different things like this. And I had put in, this been a minute ago, I put in a deal. I don't remember the exact number, but they felt like that number was too low. I actually felt like I wrote it up well. I actually thought the number was sufficient, for based on what they want me to do. But they actually wound up wanting to pay more. And you'll get that. Okay, you'll get that. Sometimes they feel like that number is kind of low, and they will suggest or up that number. It won't happen all the time, trust me. It won't happen all the time, but you will get that here and there. Okay, but that was my philosophy, guys. I felt like if I can get 40 people to pay me $250, that will put me at $10,000 monthly revenue. Okay, you got to have a plan. Okay, like I say, initially I wanted to make $10,000, and the example, the math that I used initially was I can get $100 times 100 accounts or customers to pay me $100, and then that will put me at $10,000. But because 100 accounts seemed it seemed like too many opposed to like 40 contracts. 40 contracts. If I say, hey, do you think you can get 40 contracts? A lot of you would tell me, yeah, I feel like I could get 40 contracts way before I can ever get 100 contracts. Okay. So I had to make it make sense. And I wound up doing the same thing when I got my first $5,000. I just doubled that number, that 20, turned that 20 into a 4, right? And that's how I was able to do my first $10,000, or start making $10,000 at least in monthly revenue. And I've been consistent with that. Okay. Month after month. So at least if you do the $10,000 times 12 months, that'll put you at least a 6-figure situation, like 120,000, right? So you 12 months, what? Yeah, like roughly 120,000, right? So that's the way I was thinking. Like a lot of times people will be like, well, Fabio, you shouldn't charge this. Why you charge this opposed to charging this? But as I picked up new contracts, I was clocking the numbers. I'm really good at math. I was clocking the numbers in my head. Like I'm like, okay, I'm up, this, or I'm up that, or that's another 250 added to what I'm currently making. That's another this added to, what I'm currently, all I'm thinking of, these checks are going to come in abundance at the top of the month, and I'm going to have a significant amount of money. Okay. So we're just saying, if you get 20 accounts to pay you $250, that'll put you at least $5,000. Okay. I think we all agree that the vast majority of us would be able to get 20 accounts to pay us at least $250. Okay, so that's very doable. So again, guys, however you break your numbers down, as long as you make it make sense to you, okay, have a goal, know where you want to start. Like I say, for me, I wanted to start off at $10,000. I wanted to make $10,000 a month, right? But I had to come up with some type of strategic plan. So I said, well, let me break the number down smaller. I broke the 10, made it a 5, right? I hit my first $5,000 check. You guys seen that video, right? And I felt like if I know how to make $5,000, I'm sure I know how to make $10,000. I'm sure I know how to make $15,000 a month, right? You just 10x it. You double what you were already doing, right? You got to double those results. Okay, so guys, if this makes sense, just give me a thumbs up or something. Show me some feedback. Okay, and if you're just joining the live, go ahead, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It's a few other things that I definitely want to talk about. I promise I won't keep you guys too long on this video. Keisha, I started doing the after-hour calls, 1 hour door-to-door. Keisha, very good, Keisha. I'm glad that you took action. I'm glad that you took action, and just keep doing it. I swear you're going to get some traction. I swear you're going to get some traction. I gave you some of the most phenomenal information on that coaching call, and if you just stay at it, I'm sure it's going to work out for you, right? Especially if you really go hard in the paint, right? I say give yourself 30 days. You're smashing. You're going hard in the paint. You'll be able to do it. Thanks, Keisha, for the thumbs up. If what I'm saying makes sense, guys, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're here, that you're listening to me, that you understand what I'm saying. Okay? Again, you keep your number small. Go in with the goal. So if your goal is to make, let's say, $5,000 a month, you might be able to use my example. You might be able to switch your numbers up a little bit, right? You might be able to change your numbers a little bit. You might want to get more accounts, right? You might want to up that 250, right, to something else, right? So you might play around with but whatever figure you play around with, 250 worked for me. So that's what I used, right? I figured if I can get 20 people to pay me $250, that'll put me at $5,000 a month, right? That'll put me at $5,000 a month. And I was able to do that. Okay, 20 people to pay me $250. 20 people to pay me $250 to put you at $5,000 a month. Okay, and it's very, very doable, right? $250, very modest fee, right? It's not extremely low. It's not extremely high. In my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, 250, that's not a lot of money. I'm sure I can get 20 people to pay me $250. And I was able to do that. And then you go ahead and you 10x it or double it up, right? And then turn that 5 into a 10. Okay, so that was my philosophy. So if you guys kind of break it down in bite-sized, very doable, symptomatic formulas, you will be able to make it work. You just keep it simple, right? Don't beat yourself up about it. Okay, another thing I want to talk about, guys, is that, listen, and I'm going to say this again because I talked to 2 people within this week. What's the average hours of cleaning and residential? The average hours is whatever you make it, generally speaking, depending on the size of the home and the nature of the workload. It generally don't take no more than like 4 hours, right? Generally speaking. But it just depends on the size of the home, what they want you to do. I would say the more frequent the clean is, the easier it is for you to keep the upkeep of that home. A lot of times homes, and this is kind of what I dislike with residential. It's not always, but a lot of times with homes, what I find is they want you to clean once a week. You might get those 2 times a week accounts, but once a week to me isn't a lot of money, and it's I feel like sometimes it's a quick way for a disaster, in terms of being able to really make money in residential. Now, if I was to start over and I had to do it all over again, I would do residential first if I wanted to make fast cash, because you can get paid instantly. You can get paid quickly, opposed to a commercial situation. You're going to probably like net 15, which is like essentially bi-weekly, or you're gonna net 30 them, right? Which you 30 work 30 days in, and you get paid for what you did, right? What I would approximate and say about 4 hours is fair. It probably won't take you 4 hours to do it, but that's generally where you will probably want to come in as far as an estimate. So that would be $250 each per visit. Yep, that'll be 250 per visit. I mean, no, that'll be 250 for the month. For the month. And we're talking about small to medium sized accounts. Small to medium sized accounts. That will be $250 per month, right? If you can get 5,000 people, get 20 people to pay you $250 a month, right? That would equate to $5,000 in monthly revenue. Okay. If you can get 20 people or 20 companies to pay you at least $250 per month. Now you can go higher, right? You could say per visit. Carlos Johnson, how many times per week for the 250? Well, that depends on how you negotiate it, right? That depends on how you negotiate it. It don't have to be 250. It can be more than 250, right? That'll just get you past your goal quicker, right? But if you want to make, like, I'm just using flat numbers. Like when I was making $5,000, I was doing actually a little bit more than $5,000, right? It was like 5,000 and some change, right? You know, maybe going close to 6, you know, in between. So I was like 5,000 and some change, but I just rounded it down to $5,000. So you might do, you know, 5,300, right? But you're still at $5,000, right? You might do 5,250. You see what I'm saying? So you might come in over that 5,000. It just kind of depend on how you set it up. If it's a once a week, you guys know I like the once a week accounts, twice a week accounts, and 3 times a week accounts. I'm not real big on a 7-day a week account or a 5-day a week account, right? Because I feel like with the right estimate, right, in the right areas, I feel like I can cut that time down where I can utilize that time for something else. Like instead of spreading it out in 7 days, I can use that time for something else, and I'll be able to get that same type of result in 2, 3, maybe even 4 days a week. But I would try to keep it down to maybe once a week, twice a week, and 3 times a week. Now, if I had a once a week account, I charge more because the frequency isn't frequent, right? The more days you work, the less you could charge. The less days you work, the more you want to charge. You guys might want to make a note of that. Okay. The more days you work, the less you could charge. The key word in that sentence is could. Okay. That don't mean you have to charge, less, but you could, right? Because you're in there frequent. So if your first cleaning was, let's say, 2 hours and 15 minutes, excuse me, was 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's your first cleaning. I promise you, if you're cleaning that building 3 times a week, it shouldn't continue to take you 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. RM, could you talk about the best strategies to go after large apartment building complex? Okay. Sure. Just kind of keep me on task. I want to kind of get this other stuff out too, because I ran into 2 different situations that I want to talk to people about. And I don't want to lose my train of thought, but if I forget about it, bring it back to me, RM. But yeah, so the more days you work, the less you could charge. The less days you work, the more you want to charge. Okay, because I think we all would agree, if you're just cleaning a facility once a week, the workload, by the time you get to it again, the workload would probably be a little bit messy. The trash would probably be running over. It'll probably be a lot more messier, right? But if you're cleaning this building, let's say every other day or 3 times a week, then that's frequent, right? So you won't have a bigger workload as you would if you were cleaning it once a week. So that's why I say the more days you work, the less you could charge if you want, right? The more the less days you work, the more you want to charge, just because of the frequency, the workload is going to be different. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But let me talk about these things. Okay, I had somebody that's going through my lead generation program, right? And I had somebody that did a coaching call. Here's the thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, the lead generation and not a coaching call. I had somebody that did a coaching call and I helped them with the estimate. You guys know I don't do the free estimates no more. If you buy something, then I help you at no additional cost with the estimate. So I help someone get into a contract, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. And I can't say this enough, and I'm not saying it even have to be through me. Please, 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 and I said that many times because I'm serious about this, please have your paperwork together. Please have your paperwork together. Start looking for it now. You don't even have to go through me. Fuck me, right? It don't even have to be me. But wherever you get it, please have the paperwork lined up. Have the copies. Don't have smudgies and all of this different stuff. Have your copies ready. Have everything perfectly filed, guys. Have the paperwork together. The reason being, and I'm gonna tell you now, the reason being because we help somebody get it through our lead generation. We help somebody get into an account. Okay, they got mad at us because their paperwork isn't together. They do not have an agreement. Okay, they do not have an agreement. They had a estimate proposal sheet, right, that they found online somewhere, whatever the case. So they were able to put the proposal in, but they got mad at us because they didn't have an agreement. We did our job. Our job was to get you in. That's what the lead generation do, to get you in, right? But you can't get mad at us because you don't have your paperwork together. I helped another person. Like I say, they got the coaching. He came, he said, "Hey, Fab, I need help with this deal. And, can you help me, kind of get some type of offer together, this type of thing." He did get that contract, but he had no agreement. He had no agreement. He had no agreement. Get your paperwork lined up, guys. It's very, very important. Now, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to write it down as I tell you. Here's what you want to have to start off with. Okay? Here's what you want to have. You want to get yourself an estimate breakdown or some type of way to gauge what you want to charge, okay, or how you're going to go about the charge. So you want to have some type of estimate formula. I'll just put it that way. Estimate formula. Okay? You want to have an agreement. Okay, I don't like to call it contract, so it's the same thing for those that want to use contract. You want to have yourself a contract, okay, or agreement. Write that down. Contract/agreement. Here's what you want to have to start off, guys, okay? Also, you want to have yourself a checklist. It's very important. Checklist, okay? Because there's nothing worse than they saying, "Well, you didn't do this or you didn't do that," and then you're able to prove based on what they signed off on. You present that checklist and you have, okay, you say you need this, this, and this, and this, and this, and none. It's already on the checklist. You get them to sign and date it. You sign and date it. That way they know what you're supposed to be doing in that particular facility based on just the estimate that you wrote up, based on what they said they needed done, right? So you already know. That way you can go back if they say, "Well, you didn't do this," you can say, "Well, ma'am or sir, it's not part of the, here's your signature, here's where you dated. It's not part of what what you initially said you wanted done." Now we could do that, but it's definitely not on our checklist. And here's your signature, here where you sign and date it. I love that, right? Because sometimes it's you against them, and they always win. But if they can realize that they're at fault at this particular situation, then you kind of bust their bubble, so to speak. So if you want to add that on there, we can add that on there. We can definitely do it, but it wasn't originally what you said you needed done. And sometimes they'll do that. They hire a company in, you get the cleaning, and they say, "Well, the cleaning company isn't shit. The cleaning company didn't do this. They didn't do that. They didn't do that." If you're not trained to do this or to do that, that wasn't a part of what you wrote up in your estimate, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to even think to do it, right? If they said, "We want you to clean room A, room B, skip C, we want you to clean D," then every single cleaning you're going to skip skip C, right? Because they said skip C, then you don't have to do that room, right? So again, they can't just throw C on there. I mean, they can, right? But they can't say, well, they're doing a great job, but they don't go in C. Well, sir, ma'am, initially you didn't want C done. So they're not going to just clean C out the blue when you say you didn't want it done. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. If you follow me, give me a thumbs up. Let me see a thumbs up. Okay, if you follow me. Okay, so you want to have some type of estimate formula or estimate sheet. Okay, you want to have sheet. You want to have a contract or agreement. You want to have a checklist. Okay. And lastly, you want to have some type of template or some type of outline for your proposal. Your proposal, your quote, your estimate is all the same thing to me. Okay. So for your quote, you want to have some type of quote sheet, right? What you're going to do your bid on. All right. Put your bid, your quote, your estimate. It's all the same thing, guys. Your proposal, it's all the same thing. Some people call it proposal sheet, whatever the case, whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's essentially the same thing. It's the document that you give them for the numbers, right? Based on what you saw that they needed done or they wanted done through the walkthrough. You wrote it up. When I mean you wrote it up, that means you took notes, you was jotting these things down, and then you took it back home to put together your estimate based on the things that they needed done. Okay? So that's what you want. You want an estimate sheet or some type of estimate formula. You want a contract or agreement. You want a checklist. That I think is very important. And you at least want some type of bid proposal type of sheet, right? A quote sheet, an estimate to turn in your numbers on. Now, if you don't have these things and you're going door to door, guys, I'm trying to tell you, and this has happened. This could happen. I think I was telling Keisha actually just recently. If it wasn't Keisha, it was someone else. But I was just talking to somebody on a coaching call, and I was telling them that don't always walk into these buildings expecting like, oh, I'm not going to get this contract, because you're going to get your fair share of those contracts. It happened to the best of us. Can you start today? We need somebody now. Can you start this evening? Right? Can you get the numbers in today? If you need to get those numbers in today, you need to get those numbers in today, because sometimes what will happen is they will want somebody today. They want you to start tonight, this evening. Okay. And you have to be ready for that, guys. You have to be ready for that. When you walk into the building, just know that they might be like, well, how quickly can you start for us? We actually want you to start today if it's possible. Right. So you want to be aware that that could possibly happen. Okay, you want to be aware that that could possibly happen. Okay, but like I say, have your paperwork together. I don't care who you get it from. Okay, I don't care where you get it from or who you get it from. Have it together. Have it together. Okay, I gave you those forms that you would want to at least start off with. Obviously, you need an application. Obviously, you would need a non-disclosure, a non-compete. Obviously, you would need these other different forms. Okay. Subcontractors agreement, these type of things, application for your new hires and stuff like that. Obviously, you will need those other things, but I'm talking about just starting off when it was just you, when it's just you. This is what you're going to need. I did mention at the top of this video, guys, I have 2 courses. A lot of times people ask me about the same course that I used to start, which came with a lot of this information in it. So if you guys are interested, we are kind of doing our spring clean out of the warehouse. We do have 2 courses that I originally started with, right? If you guys know the story, you guys know that the gentleman that sold me the course, he no longer offered the course, and we bought him out, which means I bought all of his packages. I bought all of the courses out, right? So you're not going to find them on eBay. I often look on eBay. You're not going to find them online anywhere. We're selling them for $750, the same course that I bought. It's, to me, the best, right? It's very simplified. Nothing exaggerated. The templates and the paperwork that you're going to get in there is a great starter paperwork. I mean, I can actually use that same paperwork today and I feel still grow my business. So even though it's relatively old, the value is the information on the sheet and what's on the pages, right? Great value. Has a CD, the disc with the forms on it, and also have a DVD to show you how to use different machines and different things like that. Okay. If you're interested in that, you book FabioHart@gmail.com. It's $750. Don't negotiate with me. I'm not going down because I know it's worth that. That course helped me generate at least $100,000 annually, right? We're doing more than that now in business. But I would say that you can make at least $100,000 with that, at least $50,000. So I definitely think it's worth $750. Okay. And it's a rarity. You're not going to find it nowhere unless you found it through me or someone just happened to sell some type of used copy online. And I stay looking for it, right? Because I will buy it back from them, right? Great information, right? So it's first come, first serve. I only have 2 courses available. If you're interested, book FabioHart@gmail.com. You don't have to get it, but oftentimes people ask me, Fabio, do you know where I can get the same course that got you started back in the day? So like I say, we cleaning out the warehouse. We kind of do our little spring clean and moving things around, and we came across 2 courses that we have. So they're ready to go as soon as you're ready to go. Okay, so that's that. And you're going to get these, well, some of these forms you're going to get in there because I had to learn early on that some of the stuff I needed, it didn't necessarily come with this course. So, but you will get certain forms that I'm talking about now in that particular course. Okay, it's going to be very basic, very starter type forms, right? But it'll help you. It helped me along the way. As I grew, I changed things up. So, boom, there you go. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot them out to me. Like I say, the paperwork is very, very important. And make sure, I don't care if you're going through the lead generation. I don't care if you're going door to door. I don't care if you're picking up the phones. Make sure you start getting this. At least get, if you're not going to get anything else, at least get an estimate type of formula or estimate sheet. At least try to get a contract. And at the very least, try to get you like a bidding or a proposal type form, okay, to write your estimate up on. And make sure it's professional, guys, and not just some little rinky-dink little thing, because, again, that's going to speak volumes about your company. I'm just trying to help you out. Like I say, you don't have to go through me, but if you're going to find it somewhere else, just kind of look it over. A lot of people send me their forms. If you send me your form, I'll go ahead and take a look at it and tell you if I think it's a good thing, right? You know, I'll let you know if I think it's a pretty professional looking document or a form. Okay, so I did want to get this out there, guys. Like I say, I kind of gave you my breakdown. Like I said, I found my little spiral notebook from way back in the day when I first started my cleaning business, of the different formulas that I used to try to get to 5,000 monthly revenue and then eventually $10,000 in monthly revenue. Like I say, just to recap that, if you get 20 people to pay you $250 monthly revenue, 20 people, that will get you up to $5,000. Okay? All you have to do is keep the same 250 and double that times 2, right? To make it 40. So you times 2 it, 20 times 2, 40, and that'll get you up $10,000. Have you ever heard of Clean Guru app? I didn't know they had an app, but they actually operate in the same city that I operate in. They would be a competitor of mine. But yeah, I know Dan. He's a great guy. I started out with some of his advice. I talked to him on several different occasions. Clean Guru, but they out of Toledo, where I have my office at. So they will be like a competitor of mine. I don't know if he's back doing commercial cleaning. I know at one point he was just doing the software, the work loading software. I think he's still doing that, but he's a great guy and he definitely knows his stuff. Okay, so let me see. I think his approach is a little different to mine. I think he kind of maybe exaggerated out a little bit, where I'm more simplified to get to the same results that he can help you to get through. I feel like I can get there quicker. Now, he's more veteran. He's been doing it longer than me, but I get to things a lot quicker, right? I identify what the problem is and I just execute, right? I just try to find a simplistic way to get the job done instead of doing a bunch of paperwork, long drawn out. I try to find I don't look for loopholes. You know, I don't want to find any like loopholes, but I do want to execute and get in the building quickly. That's our goal. When I go out and I do door knocking or we pick up phones and different things like that, the object of the game for me is to get in the building as quickly as possible, right? Get them signed up, get them on the paper, get them on a contract or agreement, and boom, we got them, right? And then execute on the work, right? Then I focus on the more or less the training, right? So we focus on training the employees and getting them really sharp, getting them really trained, making sure that they understand, making sure that they know if they have any problems, they can talk to my field supervisor, or they can text me, right, or call me, right? So I always make myself available because I would rather them call me than feel like they can't call me, and then we got a problem, and then I don't find out until tomorrow morning when the client called me and say, "Hey Fabio, you guys got this problem," when it's a problem that I could have taken care of tonight, right? So you want to make sure that you're accessible to your employees, right, or subcontractors, whoever you have working on your behalf. Okay. Like I said, I think this video, I'm a new cleaning service and just trying to learn the business, so I'm seeking your advice. Thanks for everything. Not a problem, Kev. Not at all, man. You know, I have tons of videos here. You can find what works for you. You can start at whatever angle you want to start at. I always tell people to, market your business like a presidential campaign, right? You can do what you can do for free at first, like for an example, the sweat equity, in terms of using your phone, soliciting by phone, going door to door, right? You can do all of those things that don't take a lot of money or don't take any money to try to pick up new contracts in the beginning. And then as you start to make money, you can kind of put more money into it, right? So I watched all of them. Okay, great. So you already know where we go from here, Cav. You just got to stay proactive, stay at it. You can definitely get it done. What city are you out of, Kev? What city are you out of? You know, I get franchises call me all the time, franchisees, and sometimes franchisors, right? They call me all the time. They play games. Hey, Fabio, I want to order your this, and I want to do this, and you out of Savannah. I love Savannah, GA. Okay, been there before. But yeah, I get them call me all the time. They solicit all the time. They act like they want to order something from me. They're a big fan of the videos, and yeah, we're gonna get the payment off, and we want to go ahead and do this. It sounds good, and I already know that they're full of shit. And they're bullshit. I kind of know the tonality when I'm talking. May God bless you. You are very helpful. Thank you again for all the information you shared with all of us. Not a problem, Keela. Not a problem. I want to see you guys win, right? And sometimes I'm more invested in you guys than you guys are invested in yourself, right? I also work with a company called Citywide. Yeah, I'm familiar with Citywide. Okay. I at least I heard of that before. I think we actually have a Citywide up here. Is that a franchise? I think we have a Citywide up here where I'm at. I don't know, but or it might be in Ohio. But yeah, guys, like I said, I say I say clear of Janet King. Yeah, I think everybody should stay clear of Janet King for that matter. Uh, but I don't even want to talk about them because I done had some of their people call me too, right? It's been a minute, but some of their franchisees always trying to get out some of the Jam Pro people. The Jam Pro is pretty big in my region, so some of their people I know their master franchise contact me some time ago. But they play those games. A lot of them right here on my videos. I guess they do research or whatever. Some of their people, and then their people will contact me, tell my assistant a lot of things. I want to order his cords. I need to speak to him on ASAP and this and this and that. So it's just really hard to get in contact with me now because I had to switch up some things. I get so many emails and so many calls. A lot of times people call the office. You're not going to reach me calling the office. I turned off the forwarding thing where you can't forward to my number. So I'm not that approachable in that regard. But you know, if somebody purchasing something or they buying something for me, and then I'm all in, right? I'll give you everything that you need to know at that point, because that let me know that you're serious. Okay. So, but that's that. You guys, do you have any questions for me? Any different things that you want to ask me while you got me on here? I want to make sure that you guys do understand, like I say, how important it is to have a plan. You know, a plan going in, right? You want to kind of sit down, kind of write something down, have a format to work from. This will ultimately help you build your system, because ultimately that's what you want, guys. You want to have a system in place. McDonald's a system, Burger King a system, General Motors a system, Ford a system. Like, they have systems in place. Okay. Trying to grow. I have a few accounts now. Okay. Keep going, man. Keep going. You know, be different, Kevin. Be different, right? Don't let anybody tell you because it haven't been done that it can't be done, right? Don't get deterred with the no's. You're gonna hear way more no's than you ever hear yeses, no matter how you go after an account by phone, you know, door to door. What kind of contracts do you think I should go after just starting out? I like medical, Daniel. I like medical contractors, contracts, dentist offices, chiropractors, clinics, um, like pharmaceutical companies or pharmacy companies, different things like this. I find them to pay well, right? Just in the very beginning, starting out. I also like professionals. You know, your lawyers, people like this. I find them to pay relatively swell, right? They don't pay out as well to me as medical facilities. Not sure if you answered about the above question. Oh, the apartment complexes. Okay, okay. Let me see. All right, let me read here what you. Not sure if you answered about the above question. It's already. I go back and listen. Nope. Actually, I forgot about it, RM. So I'm gonna hop right on it here. I'm not sure. Yeah, the best approach. You can go after large apartment complex. Okay, let's talk about apartment complexes. With apartment complexes, what you're probably going to run into is what they call occupy own, right? Or property own apartments. Occupied own is generally just one person or two people that own apartment building or apartment complex, where you just go directly through them. Okay, property management own is where there's a property management company involved, and they have, you know, one, two, three, four, five, six different apartment complexes. Generally, what happened when you solicit a apartment complex or apartment building, if they occupied own, which means maybe one or two people, a husband and a wife, or brothers or sisters, own this particular building or complex, it's easy to get into those because there's not a lot of red tape involved, right? It's not a lot of tape that you got to cut through. You deal with the owner straight up, and they'll be able to, you know, negotiate and work things out with you going that way. So I would tell people, if you can get an occupy own apartment, right? Occupy own apartment or complex, I think that's a great deal because it cuts through all the red tape. Um, or you have to have certain license to deal with medical facilities, dealing with blood and cleanup. Nope, that's at least not in my area. That's not true, and I haven't heard of that. So if someone told you that, 9 times out of 10, you probably won't even be dealing with blood, to be honest. But that's not true, at least that I know of. I've never, and I probably have more medical facilities than I have anything else, right? Next to maybe industrial and plants, right? Because I'm real big on medical facilities. Now, when you walk in there, they might ask you, are you this approved or that approved, or do you have this certificate, or have you taken this class or that class? You just be honest with them. If you haven't did it, you haven't done it, right? I get asked that a lot, and I'm not really big, and I still wind up getting those contracts. Okay, so um, I kind of disagree with whoever told you that, right? But if it is something that you do need, don't say, well, well, you know, Fabio said you don't need it. Just kind of check for your area and see if you need it. And if you do need it and they are in the business, maybe they can share that information with you so you can kind of double check and you can do your follow-ups behind that. Okay. So yeah, we did, Dr. Alvin. Okay, so to get back to the apartment complex thing, for RM, you got, I have a few accounts of freight companies. Okay. So to get back to the apartment complex for RM, like I say, if you get an occupy own, where you're dealing with one or two people that might own a particular complex or a particular building, it's easier dealing with them than dealing with the property management company. Now, what I'm hearing across the country, there's a lot of property management companies that want you to work with a third party company in order to even get into their company. Okay. So I've gotten a lot of emails and a lot of calls and uh, inquiries about this where people say, well, Fabio, I know you say apartment buildings is good, but people are asking me, uh, do I have this? Do, you know, I think somebody said they asked them what their credit score was like. They want you to go through these third party companies, right, and submit over your personal information and business information in order to get into these type of companies and deal with these property management companies. Okay, for me, to be honest, lately I haven't been going after any apartment buildings or apartment structures or anything like that. But with the ones that in my area, the ones that I went after, uh, I haven't had to work with any third party companies. What I want to tell you guys is treat your business like a business. Make sure you educate it. Make sure you ask questions. Okay, it's not illegal to do. If you don't understand something, ask them, well, why do I have to do this? Or why do you guys do that? Or is this the only way you guys hire, you know, commercial cleaning companies, right? And if you're going to pay the fee, because it's a fee attached to these third party companies, if you're going to pay the fee, just make sure you understand what you're paying for and what this fee gets you. Okay. Understand what you're paying for and what this fee gets you. Like, you just want to know everything that there is to know. Okay. Because you get your business information, personal information is at stake. And that's what I'm hearing a lot of people say. Now, as far as marketing towards them, I find the best way is going door to door and just talking to them and leaving them with the flyer. That's the model that I used to like to go by, where I walk in door to door, figure out who the decision maker is. Usually they divert you to somebody else that's outside of the office. They say, well, you know what, RM, we don't handle that in-house, but what I can do is give you the name and the company name and the number of the property management company that handles that. You'll have to call them directly. You can talk to Todd Smith or Jeffrey Mack or whoever, and they'll be able to assist you with that. Generally speaking, that's what happened. The representative that you see in the leasing office at the leasing office at these particular apartment buildings, 9 times out of 10 cannot help you. Okay, in terms of hiring you, the only thing they can mostly do is direct you to go to the property management company, because that's who's responsible for hiring the commercial cleaners. Okay, so don't know what area you're in, RM, but like I say, you might run up against that third party thing, because I see that's becoming real prevalent across the country now. People in Texas that ask me about it, and I talk to people in Oklahoma, they ask me about it. People in Florida then told me about it. So they got these different ones, and there's different companies, right? So just be alert that they may say, yeah, we hire you, but in order for us to hire you, you have to go through this company and, you know, this and this and that. So make sure you understand what you're going to get for the money that you're going to pay. And just make sure that the deal is worth the while, because there's no sense of paying extra money to this third party agency and then come to find out that this company still doesn't hire you. So you want to have a kind of pretty decent grab on if you're going to even get this contract, right? Because here it is, they want you to go to this third party company. So you go, you pay whatever the fee, and you go through this whole thing, you're giving up your information, and then you still don't get the contract. So you're like, well, what the hell did I go through this company for, right? You guys said I go through this company, I paid this fee that they want me to pay. I submitted the information to them that they wanted me to submit in order to be able to work for you, and now I'm getting declined. So now you feel duped because not only you gave up your company and sometimes your personal information, but you paid the money thinking that you were probably going to get this deal and you didn't get it. So make sure you understand, have a bit of an idea if you're going to get this deal, or I would kind of stay away from that, right? Go and hold another route or find another way to go about to do it. Okay. But like I say, if you find occupy own, which is just maybe like I say a couple, a husband and wife, maybe brothers and sisters or sisters or brothers that own an apartment complex or apartment structure, a lot of times what'll happen is you'll be able to deal with them a lot easier than you would a property management company. Do you deal with or know anything about building business credit for the company in order to find the scale of business using personal guarantee? Yeah, I know quite a bit about that's a whole I think I have to do a video on that real soon, business credit. I think a few people have been asking me about it. I normally talk about that maybe on my coaching calls, about business credit, because it can be kind of tricky. And I think sometimes people have the wrong idea about business credit and what business credit does. So yeah, I think I need to do maybe a nice little video on that. I'd probably do a regular video and not necessarily a live about business credit, where I can just kind of go right in and talk about it. Okay. You guys have any more questions? I just want to make sure I get these questions answered. Hopefully you guys adhere to what I was talking about earlier in terms of having a plan on the type of revenue you would like to bring in and having a plan for its attainment. Let me see what else I have here. Hopefully you guys did write down the list of the forms that I say that you probably should start with, right, when starting up your commercial cleaning business. Okay. Also, as I stated earlier, don't attempt to really go after any new commercial cleaning accounts without the proper paperwork, because like I say, the most craziest thing is in the world is that you get in, you do your walkthrough, they want you to submit the numbers, and you don't have anything to submit the numbers on. What about hiring subcontractors? What's the process for that? That's pretty simple. The same thing. You could put them under a subcontractor agreement, right? And work out the contingencies between what you're going to pay them, right? They're going to be independent contractors, so you're going to 1099 them, right? This is a little different than employee, which means you hire them, you just pay them whatever you say you're going to pay them, and then at the end of the year, they'll be responsible for the taxes on that revenue that you paid out through the course of the year. Okay, they'll be responsible for it. But you put them on the same thing, like a subcontractor agreement or some type of independent contractor agreement, because they'll be an independent contractor. Right, you're going to train them the same way as an employee. You're going to meet them at the facility, train them, show them what to do, how to do it, yada, yada, yada. But you want to make sure that you got things covered, paperwork-wise. You want to protect yourself. I'm sure I don't know what videos of mine you watch, but you heard me have problems with subcontractors in the past. So you want to protect yourself. You want to have that paperwork. You don't want anybody to slide, because it's crazy. The last thing you want to do is put in sweat equity, a lot of man hours, picking up the phones, going door to door, sending out mailings, and going through all of these different channels to pick up a contract just to have somebody that worked for you distill it, right? So that's why I'm real big on the paperwork. And like I tell people all the time, you don't have to get it from me. It's not why I tell you to do the paperwork. You don't have to get it from me, but you want to make sure that you have yourself covered. You want to make sure that you cover yourself with that, because you open yourself up. And it saved a lot of people, with different things, giving them different ways and different pointers to go, because when you don't know something, you just don't know it. Workman's comp, what about it? You will want to have workman's comp. A lot of times some companies won't even hire you unless you have it. Okay, if you can afford to go ahead and get the workman's comp and get all that stuff out the way with your insurance, your bonding, your workman's comp, and all of that stuff. Go ahead and get it out the way off top. Okay. If you have the money to do it, go ahead and do it. Okay. In the beginning for me, if you know my story, I didn't have the money to do it like that. So what I did was I think I worked a total of like 9 months in before I even had insurance, because I would pick smaller to medium sized accounts. And luckily, they just didn't ask me if I had insurance. They didn't ask me if I was bonded. They didn't ask me if I had certain things. So I was sweating every time I went in a facility. That's Facebook. Oh no, that's somebody just emailed me. They want to purchase my paperwork. Okay, I won't say your name, but if you're still on here, book FabioHart at gmail.com. Book FabioHart. I did get your email. My assistant probably will be emailing you back actually while we're on the live, unless she's on this live. She generally don't get on the live, but she'll be emailing you back shortly about how to go ahead and purchase the paperwork. Okay, and thank you again. Book FabioHart at gmail.com. BOOKF like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com. Thanks again. I forgot where I left off. Oh, with the subcontractors, you just want to make sure that you have yourself covered. You want to have subcontractors agreements, and the same thing with your employees. You want them to sign a non-compete, a non-disclosure. And I'm talking about a viable one that'll hold up, because they got a lot of stuff. Again, this stuff is important, and a lot of times people don't deem this paperwork and this stuff to be important until they get some type of lawsuit or some type of a thing where they got to go to court or some type of litigation thing going on. So you want to protect yourself. Okay. I think I was talking about insurance too. Like, yeah, when I first started out, I didn't have the money to get insurance and this type of thing. So what is a non-disclosure? A non-disclosure agreement is where you hire like a subcontractor or a employee, and basically the whole thing in a nutshell, they sign off not talking about the inside operations of the way your company operate. So it's kind of like if you work for, let's say, Ford Motor Company, GM, Chrysler, that type of thing. And let's say you understand the way they operate from the inside out, and they have you sign a non-disclosure. That means once you leave the company or while working for the company, you're agreeing that you will not talk about the inside operations of the way that Ford or GM or Chrysler operate. Okay, so that's pretty much what the non-disclosure is. Okay. In a nutshell, no problem. So yeah, but you definitely want to, not a problem. So you guys definitely want to make sure that you have that stuff lined up. That's someone that has their own LLC. What you mean? What you mean, Kev? Is that, let's see here. That's someone that has their own LLC. That's period. No matter what structure of business, whether it's a corporation, LLC, S corp, C corp, sole proprietor, oh no, they don't have to have a company. They don't necessarily have to have an LLC for them to be your independent contractor. Okay, for an example, like if you hired me to, or subcontract your work out for me to, let's say, cut your grass, right? And you have this type of company, or you have whatever the case is. Let me see. Yes, Renee. Book FabioHart at gmail.com. BOOKF like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com. Book FabioHart at gmail.com. But yeah, like if you just contract me out, I could just may have my own company, or I could just be an individual that you hire to, do this cleaning or do this, let's say, lawn service or whatever the case is. So it don't have to be a person that has a business, basically, because at the end of the year, you're going to 1099 them. And you just explain that to them up front. You know, hey, you're independent. You're not an employee of our company. You're just an independent contractor. It's the same thing for like door to door. You know, door to door sales. You have these companies. They have that. You're generally speaking, you're working off of commission, and a lot of times they don't pay you no hourly wage. It's what you do in volume and sales, and you'll be an independent contractor of them. So they'll pay you. So if you get $1,500 in weekly sales, then they'll cut the check for $1,500. But at the end of the year, they're going to 1099 you. I have a company ad. But I have people we want to do work. Okay. Tab, you say, okay, I have a company, but I have people who want to do the work. I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying. You have people that want to do the work. Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure if I understand it. So yeah, that's what it is. If you guys need coaching, if you want the package that I was telling you guys about, that I started with, again, that's $750 out the door, $750 out the door. If you want the coaching, you just contact me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. You want the paperwork, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Okay. Lead generation, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. So when you go do your first walkthrough, insured advisor, okay. I've done that. If you tell them, Renee, if you tell them yes, then you want to get it immediately, because they won't let you start a lot of times until they see that. Okay. How should I pay them legally? You can start off with a subcontractor, Kevin, to be honest. Yeah. So if you tell them that you have insurance and you bond it, you want to definitely be ready to show them. I generally tell people, if you can do it, if you feel like you have the money to go and buy that and get that stuff before they hire you, then go ahead and do it. Okay. But if you know that's going to be a problem or whatever the case is, and you know you don't have that at the time, then bow out gracefully. Me, I don't even bring insurance. Well, in the beginning, I didn't even bring insurance. I was praying when I go door knocking. I was like, oh fuck, man, I just hope they don't ask me for this, because I can't afford it, and I can't afford them to turn me down. That was my thought process. February 2012, in Michigan and Ohio and Toledo, I'm knocking doors. I'm like, fuck, man, I hope they don't ask me this, because I was tapped out. I bought this course, the same course I'm telling you guys about. I bought this course, and that's all I had. I just had a sheer willpower to go out, sweat equity, door to door, but I was really tapped. I was able to afford business cards from Vistaprint. I bought my business cards, and I got out there door knocking. I didn't have a flyer. I didn't have a whole lot to work from, right? I just used the information that came in this course that I'm telling you guys about now. I used that. That was the agreement that came in. That all of that was my starter stuff. I swear to God, all of that was my starter stuff. And then as I grew and I started seeing that people was playing with me, then I learned about non-disclosure, non-compete, certain other type of contracts that wasn't in the course. It's just a general, if you need a B, C, D, E, F, G course that just pinpoint telling you what to do, how to do it, where to start, that's what this course did for me. They got the DVD in it to show you how to work the carpet cleaning machine, how to do floor care, techniques on how to mop, and everything is in that DVD. And then on the form CD was all of the forms that they felt I need, but it was so basic type of forms, right? But that's all I had to start. So I used it, but I learned really quickly that I needed way more than that I had. So it's a great starter course. And if I pulled that thing out today and just read it from A to Z, and had to start all over, I'm sure the information in it could still make me another $100,000, right? I'm sure I could still repeat and still use this information to this day. Okay. But yeah, I was tapped. It was a big thing for me. But like I said, I wouldn't bring it up, but if they ask you and you know you can afford to get it, let me see, what's her name? Renee. You know you can get it, then go ahead and purchase it. I would probably do it right now. I mean, if you know you can get it, if you can afford it. Most people that I speak to actually already, I ask them, do you have insurance? They say, yep, I'm already covered. Got the insurance, got my workman's comp, everything is covered. So they're ready to go, which is good because they're ahead of me already. Like, because I didn't have none of it to start with. I worked about 9 months without the insurance. And again, like I say, I did what I had to do, but it took me 9 months to get the insurance and get everything else. I mean, I was legally set up. I had my business license. Matter of fact, I was so tapped out. I had uh, a sole proprietor, license, just a basic license that you get from City Hall, which was like $16, and it took me a little minute to even get the LLC, and the LLC in the state of Michigan is $50, right? So, so I'm just kind of being frank and being honest with you. So, that's how it went. And then as I moved to Georgia, I moved to Toledo, I had to understand their guidelines and understand their state laws and different things like that. So, it's certain books that I bought. I'll show you. Hopefully you guys, I help you. Like I say, I want you guys to win. So I'm gonna try to find these books that I helped you guys to help you guys. I think I showed them before, but they got one for each state. But I'm gonna show you. Let me see. All you have to do is look up your. Let me go on Amazon and see if I can find it on Amazon. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna show you. One second, guys. Why didn't it come up? Let me see. And I got one for each state. I got one for Georgia. I'm gonna show you guys. I got one for Virginia. Any state that I went in, I'm gonna show you. Bear with me, guys. 1 second, please. Don't go nowhere. I just want to show you what it looked like. It's a series image. Here we go. I don't know if you can see it, but it's by Entrepreneur Series. This is just for Ohio. I got one for Virginia, how to start a business in Ohio. Okay, and it gives you contracts, statistics, registration, business organization. It gives you everything. It comes with a CD. It's by Entrepreneurial Press. Okay, the Smart Start series. Okay. And they got it for every state. I know this for a fact because I have it in Michigan. I have the Georgia one. Let me see. The Michigan one is green. Got a green cover on it. Let me see if it come up. Here we go. See, Michigan, green and white cover. I know it's kind of blurry, guys. I'm just trying to. And it's very, I love it. I still have it. I have the most up-to-date reasons today. It has all the governmental agencies, all of that, right? The IRS, all of those type of agencies that you would need to talk to if you have questions, and have it in there. Okay. Let me see here. Go back. Let me show you just to show you guys. I got them all. Georgia, I think Georgia got a yellow cover. Or no, it's orange. Georgia. Okay, so that's just to show you guys what it looked like. Okay, and I got it for every state, like I say, because I wanted to make sure I was abiding by state rules and regulations and things like that. So this just go to show you guys, like I say, all the governmental agencies is in there. It comes with some of them have a CD, some may not, but it has a CD that you can put into your computer and print different certain forms off to make it easier for you to go ahead and file for certain things, right? It has the applications and and forms right there. So you guys, that's what I started with early on. Okay, and it worked out pretty good for me, and I still have them. Same thing for Virginia. Before I sold my business in Virginia, Georgia, Ohio, Michigan, which these are all the areas that I operate in. So let me see here. Let me go and see if I missed anybody. So if you guys want to take a look at that, let me see. I have a business license, virtual business address. Okay. Rodriguez and insurance through. Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay. To do a walkthrough, I'm nervous but excited. Okay, you have a walkthrough to do, 9341. Fabio, I just want to say I've been truly inspired by your videos. See, I like stuff like this. I like to put this on my Facebook. I love to get these type of stories. You guys would be amazed at how many emails I get and different things where people watch my videos and they got their first 2 accounts, or they up 5,000, or they up 6,000. I mean, I get the emails. People talk to people on coaching calls. People that get the paperwork. People that go through the lead generation. They love it. Not everybody. Everybody just don't get the same result. But it's a gamble, man. I mean, it's definitely worth it. And if you put in the sweat equity and you put in the time, you stay relentless, you stay persistent, consistent, you can really make a lot of things happen in this business. And you'll be amazed at how quickly you can grow. I swear to God. I've Googled, stories. I've read stories of homeless people, man, that just started window washing companies. There's a guy that he lived in a shelter out here, and I used to see him all the time walk up and down. This information is a blessing. Thank you, Kev. I used to see him walk up and down, Woodward all the time. Like Woodward is like a main street in Detroit, right? And he had this little bucket with this little, I guess, T-shirt wrapped around this little squeegee. And I stopped him one time. I said, "Hey, dude," I say, "could I actually?" I say, "What? Do you have a business?" And he hair all over the place. And he said, "Yes." And he was already up. I think he said he was making like $3,000 in window cleaning business. But I don't know what he was necessarily doing with the money, because he stayed like in a shelter, right? But he would be on the bus, and I'll see him, and he's standing at the bus stop, and he's like the guy that you always see just like everywhere in the city. I'm like, this guy is everywhere. But he always had that little blue pail and this little stick sticking out the pail, and scruggly guy. But he said he was already up like $3,500 in just window cleaning business, cleaning windows. Right? So again, guys, you know what I'm saying? But he wouldn't even did that if he didn't take action, if he wasn't proactive. You know what I'm saying? He was just a one-man show. He had his certain contracts, and I talked to him briefly about it. And again, you got to stay persistent. You got to stay out there. You got to. It's paramount. Okay? The only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. I mean, you're the only person that can stop you. Okay, You don't let no naysayers, don't let what anybody say. I don't give a shit who they are. I don't care, right? Mentors is important. I tell people this all the time. That's whether you find a mentor through YouTube. I mean, for those that may not be able to afford to pay someone to coach them and mentor them, but mentors is very important. A lot of times people ask me, Fabio, I don't know how to get insurance and bonding info. Where can you get that insurance and bonding info? Email me. When you email me, I'll give you that. I'll give you that for free. Okay. I'll give you that. I have Jasmine is my assistant, so when you email me, that'll be the person that email you back. Probably 9 times out of 10. Renee, just put insurance and bonding info in the subject line. Okay, and I won't even. I'll have you, which is the company we use is Nationwide, and I'll have her give you that information. Okay, just put in the subject line bonding and insurance. And explain that Fabio said contact contact you guys in regards to info for getting that. Okay, and we'll get that over to you. Not a problem. So, like I say, guys, don't let what the naysayers say. Don't let what you know let people tease you. I had somebody on my Facebook. They told me, they say, hey, Fabio, I post on my page that I was starting a cleaning business, and and I've been doing research and watching videos and reading up on cleaning, and I'm excited about it, and I put it on my Facebook. And do you know that status got way more like hits and way more clicks and laugh emojis and people talking about, oh, you're gonna clean toilets, and people just really shitting on me, making me feel bad. Man, that's really discouraging, man, when you want to do something different for yourself, you want to create something for yourself, and then a bunch of people get on the status. And I tell them, I say, here's what you do. Don't mention nothing else about this publicly. Don't mention nothing else about this. Don't mention nothing else about what you're going to do. Just show them what you did. Okay? It's one thing to mention what you're going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Right? I'm going to college. I'm going to be a success. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to get my high school diploma. I'm going to get my college degree. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Yeah, people say I'm going, and then they go themselves right out of business, right? They don't even start. They go themselves and they drop out of college or they drop out of high school, right? Because people, oh, why are you going to do this? Why are you going to do that? You can't do it. Your mom didn't do it. Your grandpa didn't do it. Huh? You come from a long list of failures. You're going to be the next one up, right? So people insult you all the time. Believe you me, I am telling you guys, this is factual. I had females that I was with at the time when I first started my cleaning business, and they kind of shitted on me, right? I didn't have all the money in the world. I didn't dress all the way. I was decent, but, I'm nowhere compared to kind of where I'm at now. And they didn't believe. They broke up with me. And now I see the little friend request on Facebook. They inbox you. Hey, boo. Ain't no boo, bitch. Ain't no boo. No, bitch. You ain't, oh, no, bitch. Ain't no boo. But that's how it is, right? Hey, boo. What's going on? Oh, I heard you got your little cleaning business. I'm glad to see that everything is working out and this and this and this. But what they totally forgot is that I remember what they said when I first started off. Same thing with family. They laughing at, he about to, he ain't making no money. He ain't about to make no money for real. Like, who make money cleaning? Like, hell, like, who make money cleaning? And people would do that. But again, you got to be able to separate yourself from those people. If you can't change the people around you, then you have to change the people around you. And essentially what that means is I might not be able to change you. We hang out together. I like you. You're cool people. Your family, your friends, your associates. I might not be able to change you, but I can change my position with you, right? So I can't change the way you think about me or the way you think about business or the way that you think about any given topic or subject, but I can change my position with you. I can distance myself from you. So if you can't change the people around you, then you have to change the people around you. That's what that means. Okay? So don't let nobody talk you out of this, guys. If you know you can do this within your heart, when you start making your very first $100, that's going to mean a lot to you. Because sweat equity came behind that. You didn't fill out an application, they hired you and say, we're going to pay you $100. right? You know you bust your ass for that $100. Now, if you can get that $100 to multiply to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6, all the way up to 1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, whatever the case is, you'll feel a lot better about yourself. You'll feel more accomplished, right? Like in my area, in my family, in my little circle, in my little world, right? I feel like I'm the doctor, I'm the insurance man, I'm the lawyer, I'm the business consultant, I'm the business coach. I feel like I'm all of these things to people that's in my world, because every time something come up business wise, somebody, hey man, somebody was telling me about Mary Kay. You think I should do that, man? You ever heard of Mary Kay? Hell yeah, I heard of Mary Kay. Yeah, it's $1 billion company. Go do it. You know, Fabio, I got my teeth hurt. You know the best dentist, y'all should go. Like I feel like I'm everything to everybody. But people wasn't coming to me like this before I started the business. And this is gonna happen for each and every one of you guys. Trust me. When people know you had a business, oh, I'm so proud of my son. I'm so proud of that's my boo. Girl, I went to school with him. That's my girl, man. She doing good, man. Hey, man, you see, she got that new vet, man. She got that new vet. That's my girl. I'm going to always die. I bet you is going to die behind her, right? But you didn't have that same energy a few years ago, right? Same thing. I was talking to Darnella. A lot of you guys know about Darnella's story, right? I was talking to Darnella, and we was having this conversation. It's on a different level now. And for those that don't know Darnella, you might watch some of my old videos and you hear about me talking about the young lady that I helped. She went through my lead generation. She bought, invested for herself within me, right? And I helped her change her whole life around. She got fired from her job. She was working through a temp service. They said she worked 90 days in. She was going to get hired. They fired her at the 89th day. So right before she can get hired in, she got fired. She had a 1-bedroom apartment, a son. She was in Chicago. And now she has hotels. I don't even have any hotels. I'm talking about big chain hotels that she cleaned, right? Her business is on autopilot in Chicago. It sounds so true. I hope it changed my life. I really do. It will. It will, Renee, as long as you stay at it. Like, she has big chain hotels and great contracts. And her business, she just duplicated what I showed her. Right now, she bought herself a 745 BMW. And her and her son moved out to Miami-Dade County. She stay in Florida right now, Miami. And she's still working her business in Chicago, right? We talk all the time, about the old times when she first started this type of thing. And she say, Fabio, people back home, they was so negative. Even after I started making like $3,000 a month in monthly revenue, or $6,000 a month in monthly revenue, they were just so negative. They were so negative. They was bringing down my spirits. Like, I had to move away from that energy. I had to get away from that energy. And once you taught me how to run my business on autopilot and how to do the training with my employees and how to do certain things, I was just listening to you. It was like, I felt like you was a big brother to me, or like a cousin to me. Like, I would talk to you about business and certain things that I wasn't even talking to my family about and my friends about, because they were just so negative minded. So that's why I will call you, like given any times of the nights, or call you throughout the day and just be like, hey, I think I need to talk to you. I need some motivation. This is hard. And I kept, hey, you have a son. I kept instilling that in her. You got a son, right? So I was, approachable for her 24/7. Like, she had my cell phone number and everything. Again, that's because she made the investment. So, that's how it is, that she showed me that she was serious. So I feel comfortable with giving that and having that relationship and helping her along the way, because it wouldn't go in vain, right? I know that she was doing what I was telling her to do, right? And even doing more, going above and beyond, right? And that's what it is. That's what a coach do. That's what a mentor do, right? I can't do it for her, but I can share certain things with her and to her as the different routes she should go, different things she might want to look out for, right? I can kind of share this information and prep her in the event that she run up against a brick wall, right? It's certain things she ran up against that I never went through. But I was able to, I think quick, and I'm able to assess the situation and help her get to the result, okay? And unfortunately, everybody don't have these type of people in their household, in their world, in their circle, right? So again, I tell you guys, whether you're a woman watching me or you're a man to watch me, stay on top of it. My men seem to give up a lot quicker. And I'm just being honest. Like when I check everything out, I make those calls and call some of you guys. Hey, how's it going? Man, it's tough right now, Father. Man, shit, man. I wish, man. I hear what you be saying on the videos, man. It's just like this shit's not working. And then my women, I call them, my subscribers. Hey, how's it going? How's it? Hey, Fob, I got 2 accounts. The lady's supposed to call me back tomorrow. I submitted my estimate. I did a walkthrough yesterday, so I'm gonna follow up on that tomorrow or in 2 days or whatever the case is. It's like they're kicking ass. So fellas, I'm gonna need y'all to get on the bag, because everyone that I call seem to give me some type of story why it's not working. My guys, my male subscribers, my female subscribers, it's like they always on the ball. They got something going. Right? So guys, I'm gonna need you to catch up, So, but like I say, you always want to put yourself around positive people, right? If you don't have any positive people, do not hesitate to get on YouTube and listen to some powerful motivational videos and different things like that. That's what helped me. People ask me all the time, Fabio, what motivates you, right? Well, I want to be successful, so I have a good deal of motivation within. I'm able to motivate myself a lot of times. But I get those days. I'm human like everybody else. I get those days where I feel like I'm not progressing as much as I should. They say the more money, the more problems. I deal with paranoia, like, oh man, I'm building up my business, so I got to work extra hard to make sure no one is stealing from me, make sure, I'm checking on investments. You get those paranoias. And as you begin to grow your business, you're going to have that. You tell me one business or entrepreneur that say he's not paranoid or she's not paranoid, and I'm gonna show you somebody that's lying. Because the more money you make, the more like paranoid you be, like because you want to make sure you not losing money, and by the same token, you want to make sure you still making money, right? But you always think somebody always out to get you. It's one of those things. You got to be in that position. And it don't mean you got to make $1 million to have that. You could be at 6 figures. You could be making $10,000 a month. You still have that type of paranoia, right? Because you realize I make $10,000 a month, $5,000. I got to balance this out until I get my next monthly billing, right? I gotta balance this out. I gotta make a shake. I gotta make sure this shit works. This shit is balanced out, right? So again, guys, like I said, I can go on and rant and rave about this, but I do want you guys to stay focused. Be mindful that everybody don't want you to win. Be mindful of that. Your closest homeboy, your closest girlfriend, right? Your home girl, they don't want you to win, right? You'll get somebody to say, hey, bro, you want to drink a beer? Hey, girl, let's go out and, we gonna twist one, roll one up. You say, hey, I got a busy day tomorrow. I won't be able to do it. Girl, why is you acting like that? I mean, what the fuck? You acting, what? Bro, you acting like you can't, bro, what? Bro, you acting fake. Nah, bro. See, you acting fake, and you fake when because you're not smoking, when you're not drinking with him, you're not hanging with him, you're not doing this. But any real friend will be like, well, what is you doing? How can I help you? Like, do you want me to go with you tomorrow when you go register for your, LLC or when you go get your DBA papers? Do you want me to go to the bank when you set up your business checking account? Girl, what made you decide to go into that business? Bro, what made you decide to go into that business? That's what I feel like. That's what a real boyfriend should do. That's what a real girlfriend should do. They should be engaging. That's what a real bestie should do. That's what your real homeboy should do, right? Be engaging and motivate you. Say, hey, well, shit, man, I'm not really doing too much tomorrow. I'll ride out with you. You ride out. You go handle the business. You go to McDonald's, sit back, get your Big Mac value pack, and chill out, eat, drink your little soft drink. You out of there, and then you got the rest of the day. But again, I tell people this all the time. Every single day, be working on your business from a marketing standpoint, from a development standpoint, and be working on self. I spend countless hours in the libraries. That bores a lot of people. I say library, I'm, weird. People look at that as weird. I say library, I'm not fun. I'm lame. I'm a ham. But I'm the same ham or the same lame that a lot of people would come on Facebook and inbox me and say, hey, bro, look, man, shit, y'all hiring? Hey, man, man, look, the judge told me I gotta get a job, bro, because I ain't paid child support, man. I'm just trying to see if y'all hiring, bro. I'm just trying to start making a little money so I can help pay off this child support, man. Or the females will be like, oh my God, my kids need something and they on some bullshit at Walmart and I need another job. Bobby, please tell me you got some contracts or some accounts. But they would be the same people that try to shit on you. Okay? So once again, guys, like I say, you know, a lot of times people will not believe in your dream until it become a reality. And the only person, the absolute only person that can ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. You're the only one. Yeah. So you guys have any more questions? I love to entertain them real quick. Renee, she said, it sounds so true. I'm gonna change my it definitely Renee to stay focused. To stay focused. You know. You know. If you got negative people around you, you gotta change that. Okay. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for now. It looked like you guys maybe out of questions or anything like that. Again, hopefully if you missed the top of this video, hopefully you play it back and you watch it. There's some very, very great information at the top of the video for those who tuned in late. Again, if you need to reach me, you need coaching, you need lead generation, you need whatever, paperwork, whatever the case is. Again, book Fabio at Gmail, book Fabio Hart at gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com. Book Fabio Hart at gmail.com. If you're interested in the same course that I used in the very, very beginning that helped me grow my business to $100,000 plus, you want that same course, I have two available. It's going for $750. $750. There's no negotiation on that. 700 is worth that and more. All right. If you apply the information in and you work at it, you stay dedicated to it, you will make money from it. Okay. This is facts. Okay. So, again, book Fabio Hart at gmail.com. Book Fabio Hart at gmail.com. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Once again, the only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top